Welcome back. Today it's command of evidence, the textual kind, where the question hands you a claim and asks which quotation or finding best backs it up. Students lose these by grabbing a choice that's true or on topic, but doesn't actually prove the claim. I run the same 3 checks every time and will mark up 5 together, from an easy warm-up to 2 real traps at the end. Here's the whole method. Check 1. Pin the exact claim. Find the one sentence that states what the evidence has to support and underline its key terms and its direction. Check 2. Predict the proof. In your own words, say what a fact would have to show to back that exact claim. Same subject, same direction before you read a single choice. Check 3. Match and cut the traps. Keep the choice that directly proves your prediction and reject the 3 usual traps: the off-topic, the reversed, and the close but doesn't prove it. Question 1, our warm-up. Check 1. Pin the exact claim. Dr. Adeyemi hypothesizes that female fireflies prefer to mate with the males that produce the brightest flashes. So underline the heart of it: females prefer the brightest flashers. Check 2. Predict the proof. A supporting fact would show females actually choosing the brightest males over the dim ones. Hold that prediction before you read a single choice. Now the choices. A says the bright males were a bit larger than the dim ones. That's a fact about their bodies, not about which males the females pick. Off the topic. Set it aside. B says females mated about equally with dim and bright males. That's no preference at all, the exact opposite of our claim. Rule it out. D says a bright flash costs more energy, so those males rested longer. True, maybe, but it says nothing about female choice. Cross it off. C says in trials, females approached and mated with the brightest flashers far more often than the dim ones. That's the preference. Straight on. We keep C. C wins because it proves the exact claim, females choosing the brightest. The traps were an off-topic fact about size, the reversed no preference, and another off-topic detail about energy. Question 2. Pin the claim first. A student argues that Rania is proud of her new independence even though she quietly misses her family. That claim has 2 parts: proud and yet missing home. Underline both. Now predict the proof. The right quotation has to show the pride and the missing side by side. A line with only one half won't do it. Keep that prediction in mind. To the choices, each one a quotation. She never regretted leaving. The city was hers now. That's pride alone, no missing, only half. Toss it. Some nights the apartment felt so empty she could hardly turn out the light. That's the missing alone, no pride, the other half by itself. Push it aside. See, her mother had begged her not to take the job. That's the mother's fear, somebody else's view entirely. Off it goes. She signed the lease proudly, needing no one's help, yet her hand paused over the blank where her family's names would once have gone. Pride and missing, together in one breath. D is our answer. D is right, because the quotation carries both halves at once, proud to stand alone, yet aching for family. A and D's rivals each gave a single half, and C handed us the wrong person's feelings altogether. Question 3. Check 2 really leads here. Pin the claim, then predict. The ecologist claims the wolves caused the willows to recover by driving away the elk that were eating the young shoots. Notice it's not just wolves and willows, it's a chain with the elk in the middle. Predict the proof. A fact showing the wolves pushed the elk off the shoots, so the shoots survived. Watch for choices that skip the elk. Now, the choices. A says the valley got a bit more rain in those years. That's a whole different cause, and it skips the elk entirely. Set it aside. C says the wolves fed mainly on elk rather than rabbits. What the wolves eat isn't our chain. The claim is about elk avoiding the shoots. Drop it. D says willows in a nearby valley with no wolves also grew thicker. That actually works against us. If willows recover without wolves, the wolves weren't the cause. Knock it out. B says after the wolves came, elk avoided the stream banks and the young shoots were eaten far less. That's the whole chain, link by link. B holds. B wins because it traces the exact mechanism. Wolves, then fewer elk on the banks, then surviving shoots. The traps offered a rival cause, an off-topic detail about the wolves' diet, and evidence that quietly undercut the claim. Question 4. Harder. Pin the claim carefully. The historian argues that Cole was exhilarated by her discoveries even as she was worn down by the expedition's hardships. 2 parts again, and both must be present, thrilled and yet exhausted. Predict the proof. The quotation has to hold the exhilaration and the hardship in the same breath. On a hard one, expect distractors that give you only one half. The quotations. B. The climb grows harder, and some nights she's too weary to lift her pen. That's pure hardship, no thrill. Half the claim. Cut it. C. What wonders this range holds. 3 plants no one has ever named. That's pure exhilaration, no hardship, the other half alone. Push it aside. She wonders whether the trip was worth its cost, for the toil has dimmed even her love of the work. That's the hardship swallowing the joy, the reverse of the claim. Away it goes. Her feet are blistered and her back aches, yet each new flower she presses sets her heart racing, exhausted and exhilarated together. A. Is it? A is right because it holds both halves the claim demands, worn down and still thrilled. B and C each delivered a single half, and D took the hardship and let it kill the joy. That's the classic 2-part claim trap. Question 5. The hardest. Check 3 is where this one's won, but it starts with the claim. Dr. Nabil proposes the meerkats stand not to watch for predators, but to warm their thinly furred bellies in the morning sun. Underline the purpose, warming the belly, and the words not to watch for danger. Predict the proof. A fact tying standing to warmth, not to spotting hawks. Now match and cut the traps. A says standing meerkats spotted hawks sooner than crouching ones. That backs the predator idea, the very reason the claim rejects. Strike it. B says they gave alarm calls and bolted for cover more while standing. Again, the predator explanation, the one Nabil argues against. Leave it. C says a neighboring group also stands in the morning. That's true of them too, but it never tells us why any of them stand. Too broad to prove the warming. That one's out. D says on mornings after the coldest nights they stood far more and turned their thin-furred bellies toward the sun. That ties standing straight to warmth. D takes it. D is right because it links the standing directly to warming the belly. Exactly Nabil's purpose. A and B were the nastiest traps. The passage really does mention predators, so evidence for watching feels on topic, but watching is the one thing Nabil says the standing is not for. That's the method. Pin the exact claim, predict the proof, then match and cut the traps. 10 fresh command of evidence questions are waiting in the printable practice test. The link is pinned in the comments. Work them cold, then check your reasoning against the claim every time. See you in the next one.